I don't know. It's probably fine. I obsess over it so much when I don't have the headset on, but it's like, it's not like the microphone positioning is substantially different than when I'm full on wearing the headset. So it's like, and I don't fuss about it then, so why should I fuss about it now? What I should really do is get an actual microphone. Now that would be, oh, now there we go. That would be a solution. At any rate, hopefully that's enough of a buffer so that the stream is caught up on Twitch. So yes, hello, I am EnviroBoy. This is my channel. And we're doing our Friday writing stream here. Yeah, it's Friday. It's Friday, which is awesome. Who doesn't love Friday? Probably someone who works on Saturday. I apologize. I don't know. There's probably plenty of people who don't like Fridays. But I like Fridays. Fridays are nice, especially a Friday like today when I did not have to work. I don't have to work. I have the day off. So that's pretty neat. That's a pretty neat thing. So I'm in a good place. I'm ready to do some writing. Let's go ahead and get ourselves over here. Right. Wearing the headset like this. So I wear the headset like this nowadays when I'm doing the writing because I always have just the lo-fi music channel going on in the background. Just so that way it's not just like dead air if there's a moment when I'm reading something or thinking about something, and so I'm not talking. Like it feels awkward and uncomfortable when there's like just, you know, a minute of silence. So I like to put the lo-fi because it's not distracting, it's just chill background music and everything like that. The problem is, because of all of the DMCA nonsense that exists in our culture, hold on, get my fan out of here. Because it's going to get toasty when I'm just sitting here in place for a couple hours here. But yeah, at any rate, because of the DMCA nonsense that exists in our world, I have to use Pretzel. Or at least that's what I choose to use. There's a few different resources, but I use Pretzel to try and make sure that my music doesn't get flagged, either on YouTube or on Twitch. I'm not trying to make money off of anything, so I'm not that concerned about it, but I don't want to get flagged and have videos of mine like shut down or anything because of it. So I use Pretzel, but the problem is the collections of existing music that is DMCA free, has no lyrics, and is generally chill, good background music. That's some substantial filters to narrow down how much music there is. The upshot being that if you stream for 2 hours, 4 to 5 days a week with that music in the background, you end up hearing a lot of those songs like more than once per day, and it gets real monotone. Like, I feel like if you're a viewer, it's not quite the same because there's like, I mix it a little different so that the volume's down and everything like that. It's, you know, you're hearing it through the filter of it being mixed down and my voice going over top of it. But for me, it's just, if I have the headset on, it's just in the cans, right? It's just in the cans going directly into my ear, and it gets so old and repetitive. So I've got actually just my in-ear monitors with my own music going now, which is much more pleasant for me. But I'm a poor dude who's not actually very good at streaming, so I don't have an actual microphone. I still have to use the headset mic. So anyway, that's why I'm sitting here like I've got some sort of neck brace on, doing it this way. But yeah, I feel like a neck brace guy. Like, I gotta move my whole body anytime I want to look anywhere. Oh boy. Anywho, we have been working on our Underdark. It's not exactly Underdark as far as like lore as written in traditional D&D, but functionally you can call it Underdark. We almost finished with our monsters. We're going to quickly do that, and then we're gonna slide over and start working on our magical events for our random tables. Yeah, I don't know. That's the process. That's what we're gonna do. And I'm gonna try to not over-explain it at the beginning, because usually as people pop in, I sort of have to reiterate stuff. So might as well just kind of get going with it. So we're doing our level 10s here. Get a random easy thing going on here. Giant scorpions. No, that's lame. Lame. Also not very Underdarky, if I'm being honest. Let's see, can we get enough measles? Okay, yeah, we can do measles. So let's do 7 measles. We've already established that they're there. Measle. Random easy here. Let's see here. Sorry, hold on. Okay, we good. There's that. No, we already did the measles. I don't know. What do we want to do? Wow, it's just... Do I have the settings set, right? Yeah, we got underground. Alright, yeah, the settings are where we need them to be. Just not giving me anything that I like. No, stop with the measles. There's more. Okay, here we go. The Durgar Cavalrachni. Cavalrachni. It's just a cool title. 4 of them. Alright, yeah. We'll do that. Durgar Cavalrachni. What do they look like? I want to know what those specific ones look like. I wonder if they have any, like, if they have their own specific picture, just as one of those, like, generic silhouette things. What do these bee holes look like? Yeah, just a silhouette. Knew it. I figured as much. Always lame. Ghosts. Ooh, there we go. Oh, sweet. Only 2 ghosts. That's all we need. We've put the Babos here, haven't we? Yeah, we have done the Babos. They're there. 2 of them. Perfect. 2 Babao. Alright, so there's our easies. Let's do our mediums really quick. Again, I'm just kind of going through this part really quickly, so we can get onto our magic events that belong on our random table here. Yeah, why not? Let's do a phase spider. I feel like I tend to really dip into the phase spider well quite a bit, but they're a good enemy. They're a good enemy, and just the nature of them being a spider, they fit in most scenarios. When you want something that's just a gross out, obvious enemy, you know? Giant scorpion, no. Excuse me, Balanoth? Durgar. Okay, yeah, let's do the Durgar Stone Guards. Let's do that. That's fine. 7. Okay, 7. Durgar Stone Guard. And then, yeah, we need 1 more medium. 1 more medium. Nail box, no. No. I guess we could do ghosts. How many ghosts would it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? Probably an infinite or 0, because I don't think they would be capable of it. 3 ghosts. Alright. And then get our hard ones there. Let's get hard, people. Let's get hard. No, not the Obelix. Ghost. You know what? We're delving into the ghost well quite a bit here, but I'm just trying to get through this. And honestly, it's a random table, so the odds of them actually encountering multiple battles of ghosts is thin, and even if they did, then it's thematic. There's just a lot of ghosts in that area. I don't know. Screw it. Why not? Have we used whites? I thought I remember using whites earlier on in this table. Maybe not. I know we used to get. Oh yeah, that's right. Whites were the ones we weren't going to use. Sticking with like the ghasts and the ghosts and all that kind of stuff. Okay, scroll. Come on, keep up. Keep up. Roper. Title Roper just makes me uncomfortable. Why not like Roped Monster? No, that's still uncomfortable. Probably just me being overly sensitive there. Oh, oh. Until I got to the bottom of the pitcher of the lemonade on that one. Ooh. Oh, that was a strong burst of sugar. Alright. Not that I'm going to stop drinking it. Oh, come on. Just give me a couple things. Bargus? Have we used Bargus? I always get all the B ones mixed up. I know we got Babos. I mean, I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be in the we used before, but at this point in time, it's like, just stick with the things I've already done. Oh God! Oh no! Oh no, Talkert! I remember that. I'm guessing the prediction came true, and that they have become quite cat-like while in your efforts to herd them. Oh no! Oh boy! I'm already apologetic for you. That's It's the plight of a DM, trying to schedule games with players that just no matter who the players are, no matter how dedicated they are, no matter how good of friends they are, it's just not possible. For some reason, adults just are incapable of scheduling and committing to like a weekly thing or even a monthly thing. Thought they were not going to fill it or anything. Okay, alright, so like... Okay, so it's starting off like it was going to be okay by the sounds of it. I'm waiting for the... I'm waiting for things to turn around in the story here. Okay, yeah, we'll do the Babos. Alright, so they filled the schedule. Okay, a strong start. Alright, so okay, so you've got them. So you got them going. Alright, well, yeah, you'll have to tell me if it all pans out then. Hopefully. Hopefully it pans out. How have I been? I'm good. This week has ended for me much more relaxed. No, I don't want Microsoft Teams for free. Why don't you fuck off with your advertisements? Yeah! I've been good. This week for me has ended off much more chill than it started. So I'm happy about that. All right, come on, note. Come on, one note. Scroll over. There we go. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm just copying the table here, because between night and day, the random encounters can all be the same. Like, that's not a big deal. So I don't care about that as much. So we're just gonna keep all of them to save ourselves some time and effort here. Wait, hold up. Dark. Okay, so I see. So we just labeled them both nighttime. Well, we're gonna make this one daytime because I like having daytime first. It just thematically makes more sense to me. Hey, Omega. Oh, nice. You're working on some maps there, Tal. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm kind of itching to get back to making some dungeons and maps and stuff, but I really want to finish this part of the project first. You know, I'm a very like structure-oriented person, so I need to like follow schedules in order. So I gotta finish these tables first, and then we'll start getting into more stuff. Yep, still sugary and bitter. Oh, you'd think I'd learn. I'm at the end of a pitcher of lemonade here. And I'm not gonna let it go to waste. I'm gonna drink it, and I don't feel like standing up and just watering it down, so I'm just gonna grimace through it. Which is just like the most childish thing that I could do in this scenario. I mean, truthfully. Couldn't be a bigger man-child. Alright, let's see. Let's just fill in some of our basic things here. So there's always the chance that there will be no encounter. There's a 4 out of 20 chance of that happening in the day. So we just quickly do a copy and paste, fill these things in. My fingers would move faster than this, but one note doesn't always keep up. And so I'll end up with no encounter, just like written back to back in a single square multiple times. So you guys get to just sit here and watch me do this one by one. Isn't that exciting? Aren't you all having so much fun? Okay, there we go. So there's that one. And then we need 3 for the nighttime. Come on, there we go. 1, 2, oops, no, 3. There we go. No, see, it didn't keep up. I went too fast. I told you it happens. It drives me insane. Cause like if I could just get to like a rhythm where I could just like tap my fingers like da 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 da, like, cause I am a percussionist, so just like tapping rhythmically, to the annoyance of everyone around me on like a desktop or something is exactly what I do. So it's like if I could just get a rhythm going with these keys, boy, I could get this done so fast. But I'm one note is not cool with it. One find it super interesting to watch a man fill charts. That's what I'm banking on here. Hey, Gift of Gabby, how's it going? Glad to see you here. Yeah, that's what I'm banking on, is that people, like I say, I'm kind of going for the off-brand Bob Ross effect here with these. Where it's just a dude doing stuff and you can follow along and just enjoy the chill time, chit-chatting. It's like interactive. It's interactive. I'm doing well, Gabby. I appreciate that. I was kind of saying this week for me is ending much less hectic and frustrating than it began. And so it's hard for me to be in a bad mood on a Friday when things are ending on a chill note for me. So I'm good. Thank you for asking. I appreciate that. Eating coffee, almond, and fudge. Oh, all right. I like the fudge part of that. I've already had my quota for coffee, which is like an entire pot. I'm full blown, like legitimately addicted. Oh, the ice cream. Oh, okay. All right, there you go. That's delicious. Thanks for rubbing it in and making me wish I had some. Just messing with you. I appreciate that. Sounds like an awesome snack. I'm sitting here working on surviving. So my usual diet plan, I do intermittent fasting for my kickboxing training. So I only eat one meal a day, and that meal is dinner time. So it's right around. I'm okay right now, actually. But as soon as we start hitting like 3 o'clock, I'm gonna be wishing it was like 5 or 6, so I could reasonably have my meal for the day. That's how it always goes for me. It's a choice, and I don't regret it as a baseline. But also, it can be brutal after a certain stage in the day. Wait, I'm not even paying attention. How much shit am I supposed to be doing here? Okay, we're supposed to get 1 for, that's the daytime, right? Yeah, 1 in the daytime. 1 there. Boom. 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 Oh yeah, happy late birthday. Happy late birthday. Hope it was a good one. There we go. Go. D&D Witch class. Is that like a homebrew thing you're working on? Sounds awesome. Alright, let's see here. We need 2 character visions. Oh, this is the one that I have to do this way, because otherwise then I have to, it like really messes with the streamlining of everything, because you have to go up 2 times to get through the line, and then the extra line. See, otherwise I'd have to do 2 there, and we're talking about rhythms, trying to get through these things, and you want to talk about disrupting the rhythm. Boy. Okay, there we go. Okay, so there's all of our basic stuff. Wait, did I do that right? I did something wrong here. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. No, we're good. We're good. Because it's going to be... Because there's... At nighttime, magic gets a little crazy. So we got 4 out of 20 chance of a magical thing happening at night. But then at day, it's 2 out of 20. And then at nighttime, there's also the chance that while they're traveling, they encounter some sort of treasure. That's what it is. Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome, Gabby. I definitely... I feel that. I've mentioned before, and one of these days I'll put my... Well, it's free, but, you know, for the sake of the saying, I'll put my money where my mouth is. And I intend to, everything that I work on this stream, I intend to start uploading it to like a OneNote notebook so people can take templates or take the stuff that I make on here, you know, and they can just like download it and use it, you know, for their own purposes and stuff like that. Is kind of what my intent is one of these days. One day, it'll happen. But that day is not today. It's not today. Starburst Striker, okay. What you gotta do, Taukert? Okay, so yeah, if it's Kirito from Sword Art, that's if you're into it, what you should do is you should just make a big bad that is that character, and you can just, you know, give them the powers and stuff that would be beholden with that, and then if you need to add some, you know, and then just make sure there's some ready-made minions that you can throw out there to balance it properly, so that way it's not just like totally unbalanced with the 1 versus 4 or 5 or whatever it is with the action economy and all that stuff. So it's one way you could go about actually doing it if you wanted to. Okay, so we're gonna start working on our random magic events here, and so what I do is I found this resource. It's a beautiful thing. 1,000. They do it. It's 1,000. Wild magic type things is what this table actually is. So if someone's casting, you know, and you want to do wild magic, but you want more things, this is a 1,000, a list of 1,000 things that can happen. I like to take it and just and use these as like springboards for ideas for magical events that would happen in the world. So let's see here. Oh, nice, nice. That sounds like a sweet haul there, Gabby. That's sweet. That's sweet. Let's see. I need random number 1 through 1,000, as we've been doing. So, boom. So here we go. We'll do this to just kind of give us some ideas here. So 729. So we should go down here. What does it have for us? What does it have? Polymorph. Oh, sweet. Polymorphs into a reptile amphibian appropriate to the area. Oh god, it gets worse with each set. Oh god, it's so... I'm like chewing on the sugar at the bottom of it. Oh god, I can feel my mouth. It's like drinking a warhead. God damn it, I'm gonna go for it. I'm pretty sure that dried out my mouth. Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure that did the opposite of quenching my thirst. But god damn it, I refuse to let anything go to waste, even bottom of the pitcher lemonade. Oh, hold on, I need a second. God. Oh. Whew. Oh, okay. I'm okay. This is gonna be fine. This is gonna be fine. I'm gonna survive. Hey, thanks for the follow. I appreciate that. I appreciate that gift of Gabby. Someone likes to suffer. Yeah, but I'm not telling you that because I'm not an open book. Please don't kink shame me. That is so true, Tao. That is so true. Anyone who is willing, who enjoys DMing, is a certain level of masochist. That is, it's true, but I don't appreciate you calling out my character flaws so accurately, so if you could please not. Oh my god. Oh boy. Okay, so let's see here. So we got to start making, so what I'm working on here, what we're going in for anyone who's not seen me work on this part of my random tables before. For traveling and doing the random tables, the homebrew world that I make is one that has been ripped apart, and there are all kinds of existing, like, rips and tears between the different mortal and ethereal realms, and so because of that, there's like these random, there's a whole lot of pockets of like magical radiation. So it's almost like if there was like a nuclear warhead, but of like magic instead of a horrible death. And so as players are traveling, they can just have there's the potential chance for them to just walk into a region of such magical chaos. And so that's kind of what we're working on here. That's exactly right, Gifter Gabby. It's like, yes, we all have our kinks, but I'm not telling you that because I'm not an open book. All right, that's private time stuff. Now, all DMs have a certain tolerance for discomfort and at least emotional pain. Namely, in the essence of making something, being proud of it, and having no one ever experience it. It's the biggest one right there. Alright. Let's see here. So, first one we rolled here is Polymorph. Caster polymorphs into a reptile amphibian appropriate to the area, or a random type if no reptiles or amphibians are in the area. 40% chance of for a monster type. So we need so basically the way I do it, magical event. Take this idea of a of polymorphing into characters. So usually what I like to do is just do something like players make Constitution check. Lowest roll is, that's the proper roll. Lowest roll is impacted. So it's only going to happen impacted. So it's only going to happen to one in the party. And then for this one, we're just going to say player is polymorphed into a rat for 1d20 hours. Oh, excuse me, sorry. I don't like when I burp into the mic. I feel like it's so rude. I did my best, but that one kind of snuck up on me. That was gross. I apologize. Player is polymorphed into a rat for 1d20 hours. Can be reversed magically. So you just do something like that. And so it's like the intent is what I'm trying to do is just create ways in which them traveling from one dungeon to another is, one, eventful, and two, could potentially impact what they do when they arrive at their destination. So it's like if this happens on the last day of travel and they get to their destination, they won't know how many hours, right? So they won't know how long this is going to last. And all they know is one of their partners is a rat now. And they're like, what should we do about this, right? It's like, what should we do? Oh shoot, I missed a comment. Like my random kobold. I don't want to know the details of your random kobold event. Not the way this conversation's been going. Let's keep that filth to yourself. So I like to do random events like this, and so it's like if they have magical means, they can go ahead and do that. If not, they just have to sit there and figure out, well, what are we gonna do? Like we're meant to be entering this dungeon and searching for this thing or fighting this one enemy or whatever, and we're down a man. How do we handle that? What are we gonna do about that? So that's kind of like what I'm going for when I say like a random magical event. Okay, let's see. There were kobold witches. We're trying to teleport to a different planet. Teleported halfway up the planet. They are halfway up the planet. Do you mean like halfway across it, or like halfway into it, or like into the air and then just like dropped? Any of those sound like they'd be hilarious. It's a magical event. So I do, with these magical events, I do 4 of them. I do 4 of them for nighttime, because everything is weirder at night. I mean, everyone knows that. It's just a basic rule of existence. Everything's weirder at night. So 4 at night, and then what I'll do is I'll just copy 2 of these and then put them in the daytime one just to save time. Is how I usually go about it. Okay, yeah. So to halfway across the surface of the planet. Yeah, no, that would be startling. That would be 20 feet in the air. That'd be startling and damaging to ankles. That's You gotta love random magic, you know. I'm not even paying attention. 8:42. Okay. It's like you ever have that where you like look at your watch 4 times, you still never read what time it is, and you have no idea. Golly. If it's Underdark, why does it have any bearing? Because I'm insistent upon having consistency. You're not wrong. Like, the players wouldn't really notice it. It's more so, it's less about necessarily night and day for the Underdark, and it's more about traveling versus long rest periods. So the nighttime, I don't include things that might happen. Like, I don't include as many stationary things in the random events table. So it's like during the daytime table, there's a chance that they'll come across like a hidden treasure or something like that. But at nighttime, that's not going to happen at nighttime because that's when they're doing long rest. So that's kind of what it would default to there. That's a reasonable question, though. Aloha Tux. That's a good question. It's more about, are they moving or are they stationary? Kind of. It kind of turns into night and day. It's an amalgamation of both, and ultimately what it comes down to is I'm just trying to make sure I have random tables, and I'll use DM discretion to use whatever is appropriate at the time. It's perfectly allowed to throw an audible. So I just try to not overthink it. It's just night and day is an easy way to distinguish them. So let's see. So the next random event here is 8:42 light. Harmless, colorful light beams that radiate from a caster. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. We're just going to have it be a random underground aurora. That sounds awesome. Let's see here. An underground aurora takes place. Casting colorful light all through the tunnels. There we go, and we'll just say players keeping. Actually, we'll just do players. Players gain advantage. Oh my goodness, advantage on. Players gain advantage on perception. Well, let's do on site-based checks, because if they're investigating something, because it's underground they get light, so it's like they should get some sort of benefit of that. That only makes sense. So yeah, I don't blame you, Gabby. I think that if you come up with something like that, it'd definitely be fun for people to interact with it. Let's see here. 657. 657. Where is it? I could sit here and spend an hour with my scroll wheel, or I could grab the damn scroll bar. It's actually gaseous. Target's form turns gaseous for 1d4 rounds. Good gust of wind will disperse the cloud and kill the target. Holy shit. Okay, so we're not going to go quite that intense for the players, for something that could happen to them. Magical event. Let's see here. Let's see here. So here's where we're just making stuff. What causes the aurora? In reality, it's the sun's radiation. All right. So Aloha Tux. What I'm working on is a random magical event. So these are. So the world that I'm building right now is one in which all of the different realms, ethereal and mortal, have sort of been. There's a lot of tears in reality that exist between them. So there's a whole bunch of just random magical radiation of sorts that exists in this world. So all I'm creating is just random magical events. They don't really have to make sense. That's kind of the beauty of magic. So you're 100% correct that an aurora would not make sense for it to exist underground. I'm using aurora as a descriptive term here. It's just magical light that's appearing. Is all it is. So I'm not being super literal with it here. We're just more so giving myself DM notes on how to easily explain what the players are going to see and experience. Is what it is. It's a good question. So let's see here. What was I working at? Gaseous. Yeah, it's not even necessarily ethereal entities. It's just all scattered throughout the world, there's just all kinds of pockets of magic that exist, and it causes weird things to happen, and it doesn't, like I say, it doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to, you know, it doesn't have to be linked to anything, and that's kind of the fun of it, is it's a whole bunch of magic. And the thing is, too, what I love about it, too, is it can really, it can be a good springboard for utilizing, you know, the rule of yes and. Right, so it's like if players start to read into any of these magical events as they happen, I'm perfectly happy to let them build their own story around that. You know, it's real easy for them to be like, oh man, I want to go to the library and investigate that one thing that happened, at which point I'll be like, okay, why not? You know, like, great, we've created a side quest and I didn't even have to do any work for it. So that's one of the reasons, too, why I really like adding these types of just, like, pure random nonsensical events to a D&D campaign, because it just, you know, hell, if they want to read too much into something, I'm happy to make it a bigger danger than it actually is. You know, I'm more than happy to let them talk themselves into a tough situation. Let's see. So we were working on, oh, that's right, the gaseous. Gaseous for 1d4 rounds. Okay, so if we want to turn that into a magical thing, here's what we're going to do. Players make perception checks. Yeah, for sure, Aloha. Like, if players give me something that I can then build off of, that's my ideal, because it really makes them feel important and it makes them feel accomplished. Like, if they had an idea about, oh well, is it this thing, and if you can say yes, like, if you can just kind of give that to them, that makes them feel super clever, right? And it's like, you know, even players who sort of understand that you're utilizing yes and, right, it makes it fun for them, and it makes them feel like their character is really like a part of this story, right, or playing an important role in this story. And it's a really good way to make players feel like the hero in a story. Whereas if it's always like, sometimes you've written something and it's like set in stone, and like they have to solve the puzzle as it's written, right? And so in those instances, that's like a good humbling moment for players and their characters, for them to sort of be like, okay, so, you know, we have to figure this out. Maybe I'm not as perfect as I think I am. But then if you can kind of go the opposite direction and have it be a situation where you give them that power, it makes them feel like, oh shit, like, I am the hero of this story. I'm the one who's connecting the dots for this, that, or the other thing, and I'm uncovering this conspiracy, or I'm figuring out what, you know, needs to be done to end this particular evil, or what have you. So I'm with you 100%. I love doing that. The other way I love using player ideas, I always ask my players when we start, especially when we start a new campaign, I always ask my players to give me like a goal that their character is trying to achieve. Because one, that helps them build a better in-depth character, rather than we've had discussions on the stream about what makes a good character, and I always say, give your character a goal, not a gimmick, right? So some people are always like, oh, my character is obsessed with money. It's like, okay, obsessed with money is more of a gimmick. Why are they obsessed with money? What is their goal with that money? What do they want to achieve that money? I mean, you can't have them just be a kleptomaniac, and that's fine. But then that gives an interesting character trait, because then their goal as a kleptomaniac is just to collect as much shiny junk as possible, right? And so it's like, if players give me a goal like that, then I can start sprinkling in opportunities for them to chase after that personal goal on top of whatever the, you know, grand scheme, big bad end game campaign is. So I love when players do that. It can be, you know, I'll also ask them to give me a deity. Like, if they're playing a paladin, it's like, okay, give me your deity. Tell me who your deity is, and I'll start using that deity as a tool to guide them either towards or away storylines, side missions, what have you, based on what would serve the story. You know, what would make for an interesting challenge, or if they're just like so far out in left field, they have no idea what they're doing, use that deity to rein them back in. So I'm with you 100%. Having players provide ideas that then I can build the campaign around is one of the best approaches. Which is why I like to do like random tables with just like vague things that are going on, because those can help springboard into those. And if it's a vague idea, then it's like, I can, you know, when it gets rolled on the table, I can just do some quick mental math, some quick thinking, be like, okay, let's see, they rolled for this thing to happen while they're working on this, and I know this character would be interested in that aspect of it. Okay, let's just kind of, you know, quickly mush them together for the sake of this session, right? Give them a little something to chase, and then bring that back, and during my prep start to sort of expand on that and add that extra little bubble, that extra layer of stuff into the campaign that wasn't originally written there. So that's a nice long tangent there. How'd that pan out for you guys? I'm like, God, this guy just rambles. I thought he was gonna write stuff. So players make perception checks, medium. And so I always say medium. For my campaigns, I like to sort of predetermine based on the character's level for these random events what would be an easy, medium, or difficult skill check, just so that way there's consistency. I always feel kind of cheap when I just like come up with a random number based on whether I want them to succeed or not, you know? Because even though I try my best to not have it be based on if I want them to succeed or not, there's always that bias that comes in. If they're trying something that's way off the cuff and you're like, oh gosh, I didn't want them to do this, I kind of want them to railroad towards this other thing. So if I just have predetermined based on their levels what I think would be a fair, easy, medium, or difficult skill check, then I can just set that there and have it be there and offer that consistency, and players can kind of catch on to that so they know that I'm not just like fibbing and flubbing things too. So I do that. It's based on your preference as a DM. Don't take my word for it. Come up with your own metric for what would be fair and what's not, because I think it's going to be different for every group based on what different groups want. Some groups want that Dark Souls effect, so everything is going to be, you're like, okay, you're level 1, your skill checks, an easy one is going to be an 18 or above. You know, and so it's like they have to roll an at 20. And other groups would rather not even roll the dice at all and just be able to make up whatever they want. So you just make things a bit easier, and so on and so forth. But so that's what I mean when I'm putting medium there. Players make perception checks, medium. On success, they notice that a strange gas fills the tunnel around them and can quickly cover their faces. Those who fail inhale the gas and begin taking on a gaseous form themselves. This lasts for 1d4 hours. 1d4 hours. Slash 1d4 hours after moving on past the gaseous cloud. Boom. There we go. Random event. There's little things like that just to make them think, give them possible challenges. Always just makes things more interesting. And I say it all the time, but I think it's valuable to go ahead and keep reiterating it for new people that are coming in, or if anyone's watching the VODs. You know, like just so that way it's like it's clear. The reason I do these random tables for travel events is because I don't like skipping travel. If players want to skip travel, to me as a DM, that's like, okay, collect up the money and find a way to teleport yourself there. You know, learn the magic to find some way to make that travel fast. Like, I don't like giving my players a free pass on travel. Because I think whether they realize it or not, that actually robs an important part of being a hero from them. An important part of being a hero is going through the challenges required to get to your destination, as well as overcoming the challenges at the destination. Imagine if, for the sake of story, imagine if the Eagles had been able to fly Sam and Frodo to Mordor. Of course, logically speaking, that makes so much more sense. But in terms of a story, what a shitty story, right? They would not have earned any part of their success, you know? But the fact that they made it through, that everyone within that story made it through the journey, as well as finally overcoming, you know, the final climb into the mountain, you know, into the volcano to drop the ring, you know, having them, through their power of friendship and teamwork and all that kind of stuff, overcoming the power, the influence of the ring and dropping it, you know, what no one was able to do beforehand. If they hadn't gone through that, the ending would feel so unearned and undeserved, and it would just feel flat. The world wouldn't feel alive. It wouldn't have felt like something that existed and people needed to go through. And so players get excited about the idea of like, oh, we know we need to travel to this city or this mountain or this lake or, whatever it is. We need to travel here and find the magical amulet that will destroy the evil. If they can just, like, in the same session that it's like, oh, we need to do this, if in the same session it's like, okay, you're there and you get it, like, if you can make that a multiple session journey to get there, it feels so much more rewarding when they finally get it. And players don't necessarily realize that. And I think what it is players don't realize that until they get there and suddenly it was too easy and the game felt kind of lame. So that's why I insist on having the travel stuff here and dragging this out. Because if you put in these challenges, these difficulties along the way, that's what makes the journey feel like a hero's journey rather than just a quick trip to the supermarket, So it's an important part of it. And so I always kind of have to explain that to new players especially, because they're like, can we just skip the travel and get to the dungeon? It's like, well, we can, but you guys, you're going to realize when you get to the end of it, it's all a game. You're not actually, like, I don't have in my pocket, $800 worth of gold that I can give you. Like, there's no actual tangible thing. The enjoyment here is the journey to get there. That's just the end of it. So if you immediately get to the end, that's like skipping to the last chapter of a book. It's kind of disappointing, and you're like, wow, I didn't really care for that book. Of course you didn't. You didn't read the book. Journey also lends itself to discovering side plots, new places to explore later. Some of them might have. Yeah, exactly, Aloha. It's a really good way to, that's how you can add. That's where you have time to add in all of those, character-driven ideas, those character-driven side plots and stuff we were just discussing. It's the travel that lends itself, and that's what, like when I put the character vision and NPC. Character visions, I'll put in details about that based on the specific group that's playing in this campaign. And the NPC one, what I'll do for those is later on in this writing process of making this campaign, once we've established what all of the pre-existing missions and campaigns and stuff are in this region, I'll put in possible NPC interactions for those, like, to hook into those specifically. But we haven't gotten that far. We're still just building the foundation of this region. We have a map. We're filling in the random tables, because the random tables sort of are a good way to conceptualize and build our collection of what creatures exist in this area and all that kind of stuff. So it's like, but once we get there, I'll fill it in with the NPCs for exactly that purpose, to have it be a way for them to interact and learn about all of these other parts in the world beyond just their destination. So that's why I do this, and why I have it be such an extensive thing to travel, because sometimes it will be a short journey and it'll only be 1 or 2 days of travel within the session, and they'll have an easy time traveling, so it'll be a quick easy journey, and that's fine. It can be like that. Every once in a while, the players do deserve to have a breather, as far as just telling a story goes. It gives them time to worry about downtime events, crafting things and all that kind of stuff. So there's always something to do, but you just don't want to skip over it, because that's the meat and potatoes of the game right there. It's like, you can, if you want to just do a dungeon crawl, then that's great. That's a perfectly valid type of game. But then don't bother with a map. Just have a random dungeon generator. Just go on to Donjon website and just randomly generate dungeons and just kind of plod your way through them. And that's a perfectly valid way to play. I'm not saying that's wrong, but don't bother with all this stuff. Want some more side quests and random events for your homebrew campaign? Cool, which encounter that. Yeah, I mean, you can make it by a table. So to give you guys, because I know you guys weren't around when I was making the map for this area. Let me pull up the map of the region we're working on here. So the other approach to doing it, and I'll kind of talk about this. It doesn't, especially for side quests and stuff, it doesn't always need to be a random table. The random tables, like I say, there's the NPC hooks that can go in there, but that's not really even part of the table. The table is really just like, hey, if I don't give them something, then their characters are just going to walk from here to here along the pathway and nothing else is going to happen. What's going to eventually happen with this? So here's our map. This is the region that this campaign is going to be taking place in. Right, and so we have our main city here, and we have one thing here that I know is going to be an important part of the campaign. But truth be told, I haven't really thought much about what's going to be the campaign yet. I'm just filling in the region. I have an idea of what the campaign is. Like, I know that, so within this world, like I've said, this world has been kind of ripped apart and all that kind of stuff. There are fortified cities that exist in this world, but they're very detached, and there are trade routes, but it's understood that to safely make it along any trade route, you basically need a caravan that's well guarded, because there are just so many dangers that exist in this world. And so what's happening for this campaign, basically what I know is there's a city up here and a city down here, and they're trying to build a new trade route between those cities. Otherwise, you have to spend weeks going the long way around from a different pre-existing trade route that connects from like city to city to city to city to city, right? It just kind of goes around, and so they're trying to cut out a lot of it. The problem is they're running into issues here as part of this, like this forward base is the crew that's trying to navigate through all of the pockets of magic and all that kind of stuff to try and find a safe place to, a safe route, a relatively safe route for a caravan to go. So we know we're going to have that kind of story and campaign going on. But what it's going to be, sort of what I've kind of conceptualized and what I think I'm going to stick with here, is that there's a big roadblock here, like a literal roadblock here, which is that there's a dragon that has made this region its home. And it doesn't like that there are humans encroaching upon its territory. It's upset about that, and so it's really causing all kinds of problems for them. And so what I'm going to do, and so one way you can have things that are be like side quests is really I'm going to provide multiple options for them to complete this main story, right? So in this Underdark area in these mountains, we're going to put some Duergar here. So it's like maybe they can talk with the dragon and cut a deal with the dragon to say like, hey, we'll go hunt down these Duergar and steal a bunch of treasure and provide that to you if you allow us to make this trade route. So it's like that can have a side mission turn into the main quest and vice versa, right? The main quest then begets other side quests. Maybe the dragon, maybe they cut a deal with the dragon. There's going to be some giants on top of the mountain and stuff like that. So it's like, hey, we'll take out all the giants so you can expand into the mountains as part of your domain or something like that. So what I'm doing is I'm providing a bunch of hooks that may not even be anything they have to encounter. So like the side quests are all parts that play into it, and it's just a matter of where they decide to travel, what routes they decide to take, and all that kind of stuff. Let's see here. Being Cold Witches, 2 different quests. Or find someone to take them back to the Thorn Islands, help them find components to the other planets. So what you're describing to me, Gabby, what I'm understanding based on this, these kobolds aren't your side quest; they're your main quest. Like that. Like if you really want your characters or your players to interact with them, you've got your main quest there. So what I would say is instead have the main quest be like you're talking about. They help them take them back to the Thorn Islands. Have it be that the witches found their way into a nearby settlement, and they're like, we want to hire someone to help us get back. We don't know how to get back to where we came from, and we want to hire someone to help with that. So what you do is you have that be the main quest, and then for the side quests, rather than having like random tables of side quests, instead the side quests are have there be about 4 or 5 different possible ways for the players to accomplish that main task of helping the witches. They have like 4 or 5 different ways to go about that. And so it's like these different strings that they could follow. Like one way is for them to just like take them as part of a caravan and start traveling. That's one option. Another option is maybe there's a wizard in town who can teleport them, but he's in need of specific components to do that. Like you say, there's find the components to get to the other place or wherever they're trying to go. And so it's like there's a wizard who can help in town, but he's in need of components for it, and so it's up to you guys, your players, to go out and do that. So I wouldn't worry about making it. I wouldn't worry about making it a random table. I would just put possible hooks for them to run into as they're traveling and going about from one thing to another. Increase right now is is the assation? I'm not following. I'm not following what you're saying. But yeah, I think the best way to go about quests, like I say, the way I'm going to eventually set up the quest, there's going to be just dotted all around here, all kinds of different quests. But the idea is that any of these side quests could, in some way, shape, or form, be related to the main quest. You know, so it's like, you know, I like to try and make it so the side quests end up playing a role into the larger quest, because that's how players can, like, again, they can kind of feel that sense of grandiose, that sense of like, oh, it's all connected, and they're the ones who figured it out. Settling the town they got from a. So like you're saying they're trying to establish a new town? Is that what you're saying? I'm not sure. I think it's still going over my head what you're trying to describe here. I think I'm still not getting it. But yeah, so doing the quests, basically that whole ramble, what that comes down to is, I wouldn't worry about making side quests into a table. I would worry about having side quests be things that they can discover as ways to help them in the main quest. You know, like, that's how you avoid things like, one of the best examples, I think, of overdoing side quests and random events, like what I think one of the best examples of overdoing it is in Witcher 3, when you can find quests that amount to an old woman lost her frying pan and things like that. It's like, that are clearly just there as a way to fill up the world and as an option for, you know, the player to get experience points and stuff like that. Like, to me, I think that's not to say that Witcher 3 is a bad game, but I think that's an example of going a little too far down the road of random events to fill in space that don't actually really pertain to the quest and to the game at hand. Whereas something like Breath of the Wild, right? Almost everything you do in there, even if it feels like a side quest, ends up somehow impacting your final battle, right? You can do all of these other things that will help bolster your power and give you the power you need to then finish the final mission, you know? So it's like, I don't know. There's no real right or wrong way to go about it, but it's something to think about. It's something to keep in mind. You don't necessarily want side quests to be always completely unrelated. Sometimes it's fine for that to happen. You know, sometimes it's okay for that to happen. But you want those to be few and far between. You want it. You don't want players to feel like you're trying to distract them, right? You want players to more so feel like there's a living world and they can choose what their story is, if that makes sense. You know. So something to think about. You know, and I just say that because you're talking about making a proper table for side quests. I don't really include the side quests as part of the table. Like, there's the chance for them to do that, sure, but really the random tables aren't about the side quests. The side quests are things that are going to exist there that they might encounter across the road. They're more stationary. They're less random, more stationary things that are an important part of the region and the interactions of the NPCs within the region, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. I might have been rambling for nothing for everyone there. I don't know. It's food for thought. Something to consider. But let's keep making some random events here. Number 356. Let's see here. 356. Ethereal. Caster turns ethereal for 2d4 rounds. Okay, that's kind of uninspired and kind of similar to the turning gaseous, honestly. Let's just do this. Magical event. Players. No, we only need one P. My silly keyboard and its P key. My keyboard loves to add extra P wherever it goes. Stupid joke, and I make it every time. Let's see. Players make. And the fun part about it being a magical random event, or like a random magical event, is it doesn't even really have to make sense what kind of save all the time, because you can think of it as just like a spellcasting thing where it's like, oh, bards are charisma based, you know, some are wisdom based, some are intelligence based. You know, you could just kind of think about it that way for a random magical event. So for this one, I'm gonna say players make let's make it a wisdom save. Wisdom saves. It's into another plane. That's not a terrible idea. That's a pretty good one. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna write down what I was thinking. I'm gonna write down what I'm thinking, and then we can use. I actually do like the idea of seeing into another plane. We'll use that for the next one. We'll just make 2 out of the 1. Let's see. Players make wisdom saves. Medium. On fail, player begins to glow as if they are a being from the ethereal planes. Disadvantage on stealth checks, but excuse me, God, hiccups there. But advantage on charisma-based checks. Lasts 1d20 hours. So that's what I was thinking. Rather than turning ethereal, they just kind of look like they have the ethereal effect. And so it's like, because they're almost like glowing, you know, because they're glowing, then obviously it's harder for them to hide in the dark tunnels. But if they start negotiating with people, it's much more likely that the people will have sort of that reaction of like, oh wow, look at this godly being in front of me. Sort of the thought process I have going on in my head. I don't know. I do like being able to see into another plane though, Omega. So I'm gonna steal that shamelessly from you. Magical event. We'll just put it over here. Magical event. Players make. Let's do. Players make perception checks. You know, I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like that. Players make. I guess I'm gonna do it like intelligence, because I kind of want it to be like it's happening, and anyone has the capability of witnessing this, but they but it's like, do they realize what they're seeing? So I kind of want to do it like players make. Let's do an intelligence check for it. Intelligence checks. Medium. On success, player realizes they are witnessing 2 planes at once with some ethereal plane being layered layered on top of the material plane. I don't know, what kind of impact would that have? It's almost like if you're wearing 3D glasses, but not in like at a 3D movie, or the opposite if you're at a 3D movie and you're not wearing your 3D glasses. So it's almost like you're getting double vision. Let's do this. Players get advantage on checks to navigate the tunnels, but disadvantage on on athletics / well, let's just do dexterity. On dexterity checks for double vision. Lasts 1d20 hours. There we go. So they can see it, but it's like, you know, and so it's like that, because there's like that sort of magical effect of the ethereal plane. It's like, oh, okay, we can kind of, they have a better idea of like knowing where they're supposed to be going. But then, but then because they're seeing double, they're like tripping over everything. Sort of the idea. So I like that idea though. I like the general idea. I appreciate it, Omega. That's helpful. Let's see here. So I need to copy a couple of these and put them up into the daytime events here. Let's see here. I like the gaseous one. I think that's a fun one. So we'll take that one, and then let's take one more. What was ethereal? I actually really like this one just because I really want to see how freaked out my players get if one of them just suddenly turns into a rat. We did have an event at a recent session where one of my players got regressed into their baby form, and everyone was very concerned and not quite sure what to do. Luckily, they rolled low enough on the number of hours that it was going to happen that it didn't impact their next combat. But oops, bump my desk there. Bump my desk, shaking everything. But yeah, it's fun stuff. I love these magic tables. I love doing random magical events. It's so much fun. It just mixes everything up. 504. Let's see here, 504. You know, I'm thinking I spoke too soon, and I shouldn't have said anything about how with like my diet plan I'm usually good until like 3 o'clock, because I'm sitting here right now, and my tummy is like, yo, dude, we need food. Like, we need food. And I'm just sitting here noticing that it's not even 1 o'clock where I am, and thinking, you know, I got like 4 or 5 hours before I'm gonna be able to have my meal for the day. It's gonna be a bad day. It's gonna be a bad afternoon, man. It's always rough. It's always rough. Spoke too soon. I shouldn't have said anything about it, right? Because that just brought it to the forefront of my mind, you know, and that got my brain thinking about food. And then my brain's like, hey, you know what? We really haven't eaten in a while. It's been like 18 hours since the last time we ate. It's like, I know it's supposed to be 24 hours, but still got some time. It doesn't help that I have upped the ante on a lot of my workout routines lately. So my body is adjusting to working harder. You know, and that changes my dietary and my sleep needs. So my body's still adjusting to that, so what I'm saying is it's entirely my own fault and I should stop complaining about it. Alright, let's hear 504, Resurrection. You cast a successful resurrection on all dead within a 5-mile range. Not only on recently dead, but also all others who died in the last 500 years come back to life. Their bodies mystically restored. Holy shit. That is an intense event there, and it's kind of sadistic. I'm going to tone it down, but I actually really like that idea. So what I'm going to do is let's do players make perception checks. Highest notices what sounds like a whispered and a whispering and raspy voice coming from a small side tunnel along the path. The voice is coming from a dwarven skeleton that lies in this tunnel. Players can talk to the skeleton, though it remains immobile. It will help them and share knowledge if they are nice to it. Boom, there we go. So they have the chance to interact with an undead thing and get some information about the history of the dwarves, about the tunnels, about what's been going on. So we'll do it that way. Because my first thought was actually with something like that, you know, if they're in a resurrection circle, it'd be kind of interesting if it's like, okay, for the next, until they travel outside of this region, and we could just set it as like, you know, the next day and night, or the next 2 random travel events, they have to roll twice and do whatever it is, which would just really increase their chances of encountering monsters. and have those, and just flavor those monsters to be like undead ghosts or undead skeletons or something like that. Just use whatever random, the stats of whatever random things they have, and just have it be an undead version of that thing, right? And so it's like, and if they roll 2 encounters, then they have to fight both of them at once, right? So it's just like a region full of more undead. And I may still even do something like that, but it is a complicated thing to try and navigate as a DM. So I'm not sure I'm going to do it right yet. I'm going to let that one ruminate, and maybe I'll add it in at a later point. That was my first thought, though. I do like that idea. That almost sounds more like, though that almost sounds, something that big and dramatic sounds like it would be better served as like an actual dungeon or something. Oh, shit. Alright, you got something for me, Omega. Hold on, give me a second. Okay, she's transformed into stone, crystal, long dead. Remembers those in the skull. Stoker's body. At the end of the short rest, character can make a D20 intelligence check to extract a memory from the skull. Oh, okay. Once the check is made, whether it's used or failed, the skull can't be used in this manner again. Oh, interesting. So you're kind of giving them, like, the chance to get something more specific from an item. I like that. I like that, but my first thought with that is, like, if we're talking about like an obsidian skull or something like that, like a tangible item, my first thought is that would be an excellent target for like a mission or a step along the mission, right? Like an artifact like that could be an interesting thing. Like, suppose they cut a deal with the Duergar, and the Duergar are like, deep in the tunnels, there's this thing, the skull that we want. It's the skull of wisdom. If you bring it to us, we'll give you what you're looking for, or something like that. And then the players can get it, and then they kind of have the decision to make, like, do we give this to the Duergar for what we want, or should we use this skull of wisdom or whatever for ourselves? And then their relationship with the faction kind of depends on what they decide to do, right? And so then that kind of is them determining, do they ally with the Duergar or do they ally with the enemy of the Duergar, or something like that. And so it just like opens up different avenues for these different quests and side quests like we were talking about before. So that's what that idea strikes me as. So I love that idea, but I think it's bigger than a random table, is I guess what I'm saying, Omega. I think you've come up with an idea that deserves more attention than just a slot on a random table that could end up being missed. But yeah, I think you should. Oh, it's not your idea. Oh, well, geez, here I am giving you credit. Golly, it's a D&D monster. Which monster is that? I'm not even recalling it. I'm not even remembering it. Jesus. Stone Cursed. Okay, well, there we go. Well, shit. I still love the idea, and it still stands. Yeah, you're right. That is great. Okay, sorry, Gabby. What do you got? Reestablishing an old town that's mostly abandoned. Oh, talking about your the mission and stuff. They convinced the gangs living there to settle. Okay, all right, fair enough. To help a cat. Okay, yeah, gotcha. Yeah, cats demand attention. Okay, I see what you're saying. So they're establishing, they're like rebuilding a city then. Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting for you to. I think it sounds like an interesting project for you to figure out. But it sounds to me like your kobold witches, you want them to be more important than just a random side thing. So I wouldn't leave it up to a random chance table for them to encounter that. If you want them to encounter that, I would incorporate them as part of that city building campaign that it sounds like you're working on. Is what I would do. That would be my suggestion. If you've come up with an idea that's bigger than than what you originally had, then let it be big. Let it expand. That's what I say. Okay, 246. Inheritance. You inherit a large estate from a senile baron. This is told to you by a messenger who also asks you to attend the funeral. That's a really random. It's not even a magical event. I'm not perfectly sure how that belongs on a magical event table, but it does give me an idea for a magical event. Magical event. Players come across a small abandoned town within the mountains. Mountains. There is no intelligent life present anywhere. Note player marching order because the no player marching order because the first player to enter is magically we'll say declared the owner of this city. Let the player describe what let's see actually no here, better idea. This is you guys are witnessing my brain at work right now as I'm coming up with this, because first player enter is magically declared we're gonna say the keeper of this city. They are flooded with memories of life before, during, and after the unhinging. The unhinging being the calamity event that like tore apart the world that I'm building. Let the player describe details as they like. If they describe any wealth, that wealth is magically there. And can be found. So if they like, I'm not gonna tell them that they can do that, but like this is a 100% free chance for them to do the power of yes and what I'll just do is I'll give them the idea that it's like, okay, you're the keeper of the city, only you have the memories of how the city was, like once was, what happened to it, and then what happened during the unhinging, and then what's been happening to it ever since. And so the player can then just like think about like, let them imagine, this small dwarven town, under the mountains and what it was like, what they did with their life there. And so if they're like, they were mining for gold here, then it's like, let them investigate. If they want to, they can go find like a gold vein and harvest, a couple hundred gold or something like that. Like within reason. They can't be all like, there's a magical fountain that's it's a factory for wish spells and it still works, so we can go and get an infinite number of wish spells for ourselves. Like obviously that would be a little much for even for the all-seeing power of yes and. But I immediately like this idea. Like we're talking about, let players kind of have some agency and the ability to describe things as they see it, as they, and kind of build their own campaign, essentially. So it's like, yeah, giving them the chance to do that. I actually really like that idea. I think that'd be a really fun one. That's almost, and that right there is almost an idea that's like almost too, like I was saying, it's almost too big for a random event. You could almost have that thing turn entirely into its own campaign. I don't know. I'm gonna leave it as a random event right now. I think you could make a mission out of that. But I think this also actually works as just a side quest, because this would be like, this is a very Tom Bombadil type of interaction where it's like, it's certainly a distraction from the journey, but there's just like, there's something so simple yet fun about it that it would be it really is a good stop and take a breath moment for players going through, a campaign, a very, what could possibly be a very heavy, grand campaign, you know, that just gives them a moment of levity and a moment of wonder. I really like that one. I really like that one. Alright. 79. Constant alert. Caster needs no sleep for 1d4 days. Okay, so I'm not going to make it as in they don't need. I'm going to make it insomnia. Magical event. Players. So here's what we're going to do. Players. My goodness, I cannot type right now. Players make. Let's do constitution checks. Constitution check. We'll make it medium. Medium. If. Alright, if fail, character is stricken with insomnia. Insomnial? It was a very insomnial night for me. I didn't sleep well. It was an insomnial sort of night for me. Let's see. If fail, character stricken with insomnia and cannot rest. Take a point of exhaustion at the end of next long rest, which will presumably be the one that they're at right now. But you know, yeah, I like that one. Oh boy, that would really screw with some players. I would love that one. Hi, Kitty. Speaking of having to work with cats, hi, Kitty. My cat is here to say hi. Here's her tail. She is going to. Oh, that's so helpful. Thank you for laying right on my mouse. That's wonderful. Oh, and thank you for almost knocking over my beverage. That's so helpful, little girl. I love my cat dearly. I'm obsessed with this animal. But also, she's a nosy little bitch and gets all up in my grill whenever she feels like it. And then she gets pissed at me when I tell her that she has to move. So, I know. Oh, yeah, don't give me that innocent look. Don't give me that innocent look. Look at her. Look at her. Hold on. Try and get. Oh, there she is. Right there. Right in the way of my. Right in the way of my mouse. What a turd. What a turd. And how could she do this to me? She knows how important this is to me. No, she doesn't. She's a cat. Hold on. I gotta get my camera back adjusted. There we go. That's good. So, I know, Kitty. I know, Kitty. Alright, we'll try and make this work. I will try to just use short, you know, repeated mouse movements. But if you start doing your thing where you're going to try and, like, sit on my keyboard or something, then we're going to have problems. You know you're not allowed to do that, but you still try it all the time. But we'll try and work with this. Okay. Anyway, back to it. Okay, so we need to take a couple of these and make them and put them into the daytime. I really want that one in there. I think that one's a cool one. I really think that's a cool one. I want to use that one. And then I actually like this one that Omega came up with. I really like that one. I want that one to have a higher chance of happening over here. So I think that's good. That's sweet. I love magic event. I love random magical events. So fun. 982. That's not the one we just did, is it? 982. Edward. Oh my god. All I need is to read the title of this one. I'm already in love with it. It's already excellent as far as I'm concerned. So let's see here. Caster's hands turn into +5 magical melee weapons appropriate for a primary weapon. Caster may attack as per their WP, whatever. The hands return to normal after 5 rounds. Okay. Magical event. I am actually on board with them having hands that turn into weapons. I know, Kitty. Oh, you are so sweet. You are so sweet, but be careful that you don't roll all over my keyboard. Such a cute little kitty. Also, please don't get mad at me because I'm bumping your feet while moving my mouse, because you chose to lay there, and I don't care how much you dislike when I play with your feet. It's not my fault that you chose to lay right there. Cats, am I right? Alright, so, okay, the sword hands. Oh, are we gonna start, like, trying to rub all over my hand and my mouse now so that I'm clicking things randomly? Is that what's about to happen? You're such a brat. Such a brat. I know, you're such a brat. Alright, let's see here. So let's do... Okay, the sword hands, players make... I don't know, let's make it constitution checks. So Steam, you need to not do this, okay? This is not the time to keep reminding me repeatedly when friends are playing Sims and shit. It's not the time to do this. I gotta turn those notifications off. Hey, that is... Oh, and now the cat's gonna chatter because there's a bird out there. Oh, is it a nuthatch? Yeah, I know, those are your favorite because they're all upside down on the bird feeder. They're so silly to watch. You always get worked up about them. See, this is the thing. This is the fun that you guys get to enjoy by coming and watching my stream. You get to see how obsessed with my cat I am. Everything stops when my cat is doing something cute. And I have to sit here and I have to interact with her. Well, you know, if you're going to be that obsessed with it, why don't you go chase it? Just like staring at it so intently. It's like, go get it. It's right there. Oh, now it flew away. Oh, no, it's back. It's back. What, are you going to go chase it? Sorry. Okay, sorry. I'm streaming right now. I'm a professional. Not by any definition of the term. Okay. Players make, let's just do constitution checks. Constitution checks, and for this one, let's just do lowest is affected. Players' hands are magically transformed into their choice of simple weapon. I don't want to do a +5 version. Maybe we'll do a let's do a +1 of a +1 simple weapon. Lasts for 1d20 hours. You know, and so like for this one, I'm not gonna explicitly put it there because I'm just assuming that I'll be able to think about it and remember it in the time. But it's like I like the challenge that one imposes. Excuse me. I like the challenge that one imposes because like if it happens to a spellcaster and they would normally have, you know, like their what is it, somatic, is that the term? They'll have their like hand gestures as part of a spell. If they don't have their hands, they can't cast their spells. I know, hi kitty, you are so cute. You know, they can't cast their spells that way. You know, or if they have a better weapon, they can't use that because they can't hold it. Their hand just is a +1 weapon. You know, but the flip side is it's a +1 weapon, so that's a bit of an advantage over top of just like a regular weapon. So, you know, there's something for them. But I like that one because then again, it's like they're not gonna know how many hours it's gonna last. So if they get to where they're trying to be, and that's still an effect on a player, how does that impact their decision to continue on what they're working on? I love that kind of stuff. That's the exact purpose of it. I see you. Don't you roll on the keyboard. Don't do it. Okay, you can rub your face on the corner, that's acceptable, but you cannot roll on the keyboard. You have this discussion daily. Daily. 239. 239. One of these days, I really want the random number that I roll to... Don't you roll on the keyboard! No, get out of here. You know better. Go on. Oh, do you want to snuggle on the lap? Okay, she wants to snuggle on the lap. That's acceptable. It's acceptable. You're forgiven. You can just snuggle up on the lap. That's acceptable. I'd prefer if you didn't hit me in the face with your tail. But, alright. Okay. Yes, this is much better. This is much better. What I was saying is, I really want one of these random numbers to line up with exactly the time. Like, I really want to get 103 when it's 103. I forgot what number I was working on. 239. I forgot what I was doing. I got obsessed with my cat. Wall of Fire. Wall of Fire. I'm pretty sure I've had this one come up before, but this is a good one. Magical event. This is an easy one to figure out what to do with. Magical event. A wall of fire fills the tunnel in front of the players. Can be magically removed, or else players will need to detour and add a day to add. Let's do this. Let's do add 1d4 days to travel. So they have a magical way to try and dispel, you know, the wall of fire that's right there. Then they can go about it that way. They can choose to do that. But if they don't, or if they don't have the ability or they don't want to, it's going to add potentially a few extra days of travel for them. You know, and that's gonna impact things like, you know, what resources they have, depending on what those other additional random days of travel, you know, are gonna require of them. I know, hi kitty. So perfect. I like that one. 183. Oh, it heard me. It got closer. It got closer. We needed 105 there. 183. Phantom Footman. A phantom footman turns up and offers his help. I don't know what that means. But let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. Magical event. A ghostly dwarf approaches. Wow. Approaches the players. He is not aware that he is dead and offers to help the players in their quest. If they allow him to join, he will stay until the first time they enter combat, at which time he will realize that he's dead and have an existential crisis before disappearing. Just disappearing. There we go. Perfect. I like that one. So it's like they come across a ghostly dwarf who's all like, "Hey, I want to help you on your mission." And they're like, "Okay." And so it's like they could either try and explain to him that he's dead, or as soon as they enter combat, he'll realize that he can't hit or be hit, and he'll have like an existential crisis, and then they can help help him navigate through a panic attack or something. I don't know. Just roleplay that. It's whatever. Like I say, yes and springboards. It's perfect. 19. Horns. Permanently grow a pair of small horns on your forehead, contrasting with your skin color. A remove curse may remove them. Oh, okay. I'm not gonna make it quite that harsh. Magical event. Player begins. Wait, no, hold on. Players make, let's say, a wisdom save. I don't know. Wisdom saves. Lowest is affected. Player begins growing a set of horns from their forehead. These horns will only, let's say here, these horns, let's say it this way, these horns can be removed magically or surgically. So if they want to, they can try and just cut them off and see how that goes. Or they can find magical means. But otherwise, they're going to be a horny character for quite some time. Wow. Yeah, I think that seems good. All right, so in terms of which ones to add to the daytime, I think so. I really like the wall of fire one, but that is so disruptive. I think I'm only gonna leave that as a on one of the tables. I don't know if I want to have it be always possible when they're at that level. I think that seems a little harsh. Oh my gosh, excuse me. I don't know. I kind of like the ghost one, and the horns. I like those two, so we're gonna use them. So I'm going to use them and no one can stop me because it's my world. So take that. No, I don't want to highlight the whole thing. I just want to highlight that. There we go. Copy that. And paste. Bada bing, bada boom. Next step. See you, kitty. No, I know what you're doing now. No sitting on the keyboard. No sitting on the keyboard. Last thing I need is your little butthole sitting on my space key. Not part of my daily plan here for the day. Not how I want things to go down. I'm sorry. Alright, next set. Let's do this. Generate. 210. 210. Itch. Caster's clothes itch unbearably. Oh, that's perfect. Oh, excuse me. Players make. I guess it'd be a Constitution save would be the closest one. Make Constitution saves. Set that to medium. On fail, become extremely itchy. Lasts for 1d20 hours. Players have disadvantage on any movement-based check. Boom. It's a pretty intense one, but I don't know. I mean, like, I feel like it would be. I feel like you would be at a bit of a disadvantage. Oh, excuse me, trying to move about the world if you're constantly sitting there having to itch things. Like, it's hard to be sneaky when you're constantly scratching. You know? I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I mean, it's not fair, but it is fair. It's random. It's random. Which means it's, like, simultaneously not fair at all and the most fair it could possibly be. 892. Hey. Oh, I apologize. I promise I'm not bored. I'm just tired. Had a pretty intense workout this morning. It was a good one. I was proud of myself. 892 bounty. Oh wait, no. Beauty. Yeah, it was a good workout, but it's, you know, it's the plate too. I talk about this. It's the plate of the way I structure my workout and my diet routines, right? Because I rest on weekends as well as increasing my calorie intake on weekends, so I can really use them for recovery, right? And so it's like, I start off every Monday very fresh, but as the week goes on, right, I do like an hour of conditioning in the mornings plus an hour of some form of like physical fun activity, right? So I do my kickboxing 3 days a week. I do rock climbing like 2 days a week, you know, so it's like I do that. So as the week goes on, I get progressively more tired and more burnt out as the week goes on until we get to Fridays and Saturdays when I'm just like an absolute slug. You know, just so tired all the time. You know, that's just the nature of how it goes when I hold this workout routine. And it works for me, but it's like, yeah, we get to Friday and I'm like, we should just nap. Alright, what number was I working on? 892. Caster's blank, whatever. Caster's peanut butter is raised to 30. And when viewing her will act appropriately. Magical event. Players make charisma checks. Medium. On success, become extremely pretty. Advantage on charisma-based checks for 1d20 hours. Boom! There we go. I don't know. People are willing to talk to and listen to beautiful people. That's why you really want to be born gorgeous if you can. It's the preference anyway. Golly, I'm sorry. Oh my goodness gracious. How am I going to make it through a 2-hour video game stream immediately after this? What am I going to do? How am I going to make it through this? Oh my golly. Oh my golly, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough. Probably what I'll do is, I got about 15 minutes left on this one. I might cut out like 5 minutes early or something like that. Got 15 minutes on this, and then I'll probably give myself just like a 15-minute break or something like that, like I like to do on these, on the double headers for my streams where I've got 4 hours of stream. I'll take a break after, once I finish up with this writing one, before I start my video game stream. And what I'll do is I won't do anything healthy like take a nap if I'm tired. Instead, I will pump myself full of some sort of caffeinated beverage. And slap myself in the face a few times, maybe eat some candy, get a sugar rush, and then be back. I'm only half joking about any of that. I will find some way to get myself energy. A lot of times, even actually just like doing a quick walk down, through the yard at my apartment complex or something like that can be enough. So maybe I'll do that. I don't know. But like I say, I've got like 10-15 minutes left in this stream, and then I will take a break before starting the video game stream. 8:29, and hopefully that will help me recover. 8:29, Pinocchio. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna do event. Players.
That's how it came out.
Let's do players make charisma
just writing
checks.
from a place of understanding rather
set
than
that
from a
to
place
medium.
of fear. Where you're just grateful
Lowest,
for the idea that comes along.
Lowest is, I'm gonna put it in quotes, cursed, because like within D&D rules is written, cursed is like an actual meaningful term, but I'm just kind of like using it more facetiously here. So we're gonna say lowest is cursed.
Yeah, it's not about the ideas, it's about how you support the ideas.
Cursed with a nose that grows in size whenever they are dishonest. Lasts 1d4 days. I want to make that one days. I want to make it days. I want them to have to suffer with that for days, because I want there to be enough time for them to actually like socially interact with someone or anyone. Is kind of what my goal is there. Okay, random number. Let's see here. Sorry, I had to check something. 594. 594. Where are you? Again, with me insisting on using the mouse wheel when there's a scroll bar right over there. Heal. Hostile creatures within have their hit points restored to maximum. Oh, okay, let's see here. Trickle event. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. The problem with that one is like the nature of the way the random tables work is when they roll one for nighttime, if they roll that, then it's like they're not going to encounter any enemies or anything like that. Oh, you know what we could do? Okay, here's what we can do. If players were in combat earlier in the day, one of the assailants shambles into camp as an undead version of themselves. Let's see here. I don't know what kind of impact that would have, though. It'd be really easy if that would just like take down one thing. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. That's so rude of me. Undead version. You know what? I'm just gonna leave it as that. I'm gonna leave it as that and just like let it be a yes and thing. If they decide they want to like kill it, then let them do a little extra fighting. If they want to try and talk to it, they can do that. Whatever. That's fine. Alright, so let's see here. Let's do... So I gotta pick a couple of these to make as the daytime. Let's do... I do like the Pinocchio one, honestly. I think that one's funny. I think that's funny, especially if it were like the rogue or some shit that got it. And like someone who's always lying. It's like, you get what you deserve. Constitution saves if I become extremely itchy. Oh my golly. Oh my golly. Okay, I'm gonna do this one. I like the itchy better than pretty. So let's copy that. Paste it. Just the period there, but that's fine. Okay. I'm gonna squeeze in one more here before we end the writing stream for the day. We got time for it. We're gonna get 4 more. We got 4 more, so that way we're halfway done with the magical stuff, so that way on the next stream we can probably finish up the magical tables for Underground. I think that would be good. I think that'd be really good. 195. 195. 195. You guys, you know what I can't stop thinking about? I can't stop thinking about how good some chicken nuggets would be right now. Holy shit. Some like McDonald's chicken nuggets. Fuck, man, I'd go to town on those so hard right now. Fuck, I can't stop thinking about food. My body's like, maybe that's why I'm tired. My body's like, look, bro, we need some energy one way or another. I don't care how you come about it, either through a nap or through food, but we need energy. Because I'm just thinking about how tasty those things are. Like, holy shit, they're so good. God damn. And it's probably just the hunger talking. I mean, realistically, after 3 of them, I'd be like, wow, these are garbage. But god damn, they sound so good right now. That's not related to anything I'm working on. That's just an anecdote. I thought it would be funny. I don't know. I'm trying to entertain the masses here. Magical event. Okay, love charm. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Magical event. Players make charisma checks. Highest and lowest are impacted. 2 characters suddenly have huge crushes on each other. Lasts for 1d4 hours, after which they remember everything and have no clue what came over them. There we go. Perfect. I like it. And then it can be up to the players if they want to turn that into an ongoing thing. Yeah, maybe actually what I'll do is I'll leave that. I'll just do last 1d4 hours, the magical thing. After which the magical influence wears off, and then we'll do ... But what about the feelings? Let's just do that. Let's see if it springboards. I don't know. Fuck it. Why not? Why not? Alright, 857. Music. Ooh, music. The first 4 notes of Beethoven's 5th Symphony. All creatures within hearing range, hostile to cast, are affected by fear. Oh my god, I love that. I actually really love that exactly as it is. Magical event. What I'm gonna do though, here's what I'm gonna say. Beethoven. How do you spell Beethoven? 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 Yeah, Beethoven. It's Beethoven, that's right. I remember that from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure when they bring Beethoven back to be one of the presenters for their history project that they need to get an A on so they can become ultimate rock and roll saviors of the earth. Beethoven's 5th suddenly plays through the halls of through the tunnels. Through the tunnels. Players make wisdom saves, medium. On fail, they are paranoid that they are about to be ambushed by enemies. And we'll just leave it at that. Let it be up to the players to decide how they handle that. Another one. Another one! 26. Oh, wow. Getting to the beginning of the list again there. Hold on. Hey, come here. Come here. 26. Earthquake. Earth rumbles. Earth rumbles for 1d4 minutes. Alright, yeah, actually, you know, that's a perfect one. Magical event. An earthquake shakes the tunnel. Players make dexterity saves. Medium. On fail, get hit with falling rocks, and we're gonna do 1d10 damage. Boom. Yeah, just an earthquake. You never know. You never know. It would certainly be a terrifying thing to have happen while you're like in the center of a mountain. It's like, oh God, please don't collapse. Please don't bring the whole mountain down on me. All right, 465 for our last one for the day here. That's too far. 465. Nothing. Absolutely nothing happens, and you lose the rest of your actions for this melee. All right, magical event. So here's what I'm gonna do. Let's see here. Players suddenly notice exactly how quiet it is in the tunnels. Almost magically so. ... No actual event. Boom. There we go. So it's like turning a non-event into an event. I dig it. I dig it. Okay, so then just for our copy and paste, I like the earthquake and I like the Beethoven's Fifth. I like those two. Genuinely, I think those are the best ones. So copy that one, bring it up there, and then this one, the earthquake. I think the earthquake is a really good event. Copy that, and paste it, and there we go. All right, there we go. So we're halfway through. That puts us halfway through the magical events for our random tables for Underground. So we're making some steady progress. Like it's slow, but it's steady towards getting, you know, our random tables. Because the thing is I feel like once we get the random tables established, it's going to be a lot easier for us to paint with broad strokes to get the rest of the campaign made. I think people will be surprised at how quickly we can storyboard some basic story missions and campaign missions, as well as designing dungeons. I think dungeons don't take as long as people might expect all the time. Or maybe they take longer. I guess it depends on what your expectations are. But the point is, I think we can start really knocking out a lot of this campaign once we get the random tables. The random tables are tedious and require a lot of just typing. Like, that's all it is. It's just typing. It's just writing, which can be time consuming because I'm not a particularly skilled stenographer or anything. You know, I'm not a typist. So yeah, we're making good progress, but I'm excited for once we're finished with this part of it because, one, that'll be a really good chunk of work done on this, and two, that'll free us up to start doing some more exciting things. So I dig it. I'm glad we got through here. So yes, I'm going to take myself like a 10-15 minute break. Whoever's sticking around, if anyone is interested in sticking around for the video game stream, I am playing Mass Effect 2. Is what I'm running through right now. So if you want to stick around for that, you are more than welcome. If that's just not your jam, I am not offended by that. You know, if you're here for the D&D writing, then by all means stick around for that. You know, take what you want, leave the rest. I am 100% okay with that. I just like playing video games on stream just because it reminds me of back in the good old days of playing with friends. You know, sitting, you know, in this situation I'm the one playing, but I always remember just like I loved to sit and watch people play a single player game and, you know, make commentary and help them solve puzzles and stuff like that. So I love doing that. It's really why I do the stream. The video game stream is 100% for me. These writing ones are sort of with the intent of being able to share ideas with other DMs as well as help new budding players and new budding DMs sort of, and budding world builders kind of understand some of the, what actually the process is for all of these things. It's sort of what these streams are for. Whereas the video games ones are much more narcissistic, really just much more for my enjoyment of things. So if you want to stick around for that, please feel free. If you want to go do other things, I don't blame you at all. I don't blame you at all. Everyone's got their own interests, and you are 100% entitled to go about finding whatever you enjoy watching. So either way, whether you're sticking around or taking off, I'm going to take probably, like I say, a 10 or 15 minute break. Kind of rejuvenate myself, maybe do some jumping jacks, get the blood flowing a little bit, and then I will be logging back on to go and do some Mass Effect 2. I will be ending the stream, so it'll show the stream has ended, just for the sake of easily uploading the VODs. But that's what's about to happen. So thank you for anyone who stopped by live watching this. I had some fun conversations as always. I love chatting about different DMing philosophies. I love sharing ideas. I love hearing about the ideas other people are coming up with. It's fun. I really enjoy it. And I have such a fun time with these. So thank you for everyone who is here live to do it, and thank you to everyone who watches the VODs after the fact. It flatters me that you're interested enough in what I'm working on and what I'm doing that you would check it out afterwards. So if that's how you're seeing this, then I appreciate you as well. The only plug I have is I do have a Discord channel. We have that up and running. I'm trying to sort of use that as a way to, for the stream community in general, but also have it sort of hopefully one day grow into being a possible resource for, again, for DMs to sort of share ideas that will extend beyond just the times that, the stream is happening with the chat up in the window, especially because YouTube, when I transfer the things over to the YouTube channel, the VODs, it doesn't take the chat with it. So if you want to have a more long-lived discussion about DMing ideas and stuff like that, please follow the link on my channel to the Discord server, and we'll get you verified so we can have you as part of the conversation as well. But that's what I got for the writing stream today. Again, thank you so much to everyone who stopped by. My only request is that if you're taking off from here, if you're not going to stick around for Mass Effect, if you're taking off as you go out into the rest of the world, spend today and the rest of today and really the rest of the weekend just trying to be good to the people you come across, the people you cross paths with. Life is stressful and difficult for all of us, so let's try and be the type of people that doesn't add stress to the days of other people around us. I think that's a pretty noble pursuit, and I think we're all capable of it. I think all of y'all are pretty cool people, so that's just my request. Other than that, that's what I got. If you're sticking around, I'll see you in like 15 minutes. If you're not, then I'm looking forward to the next time I do see you. Maybe the next writing stream. I know my schedule says that there are Saturday streams. There are not going to be streams tomorrow. I have a family function, a wedding shower to go to, and it's happening right when I would normally be streaming in the afternoon. So no streams tomorrow. Maybe a stream in the evening if I'm feeling like it, but no scheduled streams. I'll put that in the announcements tab, but just giving the heads up for that. So don't expect writing stream if you're just here for the writing. Look for next Monday when we start back up for the next week. So, but yeah, other than that, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing you again. So take care of yourselves. Alright, where's the end stream? There's the button. End the